Activision presents a smashing blast from the past. Developed by vicarious visions.
Hi everybody, and it's finally here. The game I've been waiting over a year to be able to play, to finally get my hands on. And here it is. From Vicarious Visions. That intro is so good. I love that so much. It looks so awesome. Yes, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, finally. The Crash Bandicoot N Sane Trilogy. Like I say, I've been waiting for this for over a year. I've been so looking forward to this day when I finally get the chance to play it. And it's fucking awesome. It looks great. Music's really good as well, actually. Same melodies, just with much better instrumentation. It's so good. But anyway, welcome to the start of a brand new Let's Play. And are we going to be starting with one of the better games in the series? No. We're starting out with Crash Bandicoot 1, the original and, you know, the, let's be honest, worst of the original trilogy. But it does have some nice, neat little cool things to be added. Yeah, I haven't played Crash 3 yet. Still trying 100% Crash 2, which is a bit of a bitch. But anyway, let's get on with this. We're going to be starting off with Crash Bandicoot 1. So let's start a new game. Let's overwrite. And here we go, Crash Bandicoot 1 on Crash Bandicoot the N Sane Trilogy. Oh my god, I've been waiting for this for such a long time. I love the original trilogy, and now finally to get my hands on the remakes. Oh, I'm so happy. So to kick off with, we've actually got, they've actually changed the voices. At least from the original trilogy. It's the same voice cast who did the later games, like, I believe they did Wrath of Cortex and, like, Twin Sanity and Mind of a Mutant and that kind of thing. You might be able to recognize the voice of Embryo here. It's Embryo, isn't it? Yeah, it's Embryo. It's actually been he's actually been played by Maurice LaMarche, who is the who's well known for doing does a lot of voices, but he's I try to remember who he is actually. He's in Futurama as, I think, he's Lur and like Kif and the Horrible Gelatinous Blob and that. So yeah, good voice actor. But yeah, the intro is actually changed a little bit because basically in the original game you couldn't actually get the intro unless you waited at the title screen for a little while. Now it just comes up straight up front. So anyway, oh my god, this game looks gorgeous. Plus, analog control in Crash 1, it's awesome. And this is another thing which has been changed. Originally you had to jump on those 10 times. An extra life already, cheers. You had to jump on these 10 times originally to get all the Wumpa fruit out of them. But with this one, and first Aku Aku, with this one now they've reduced it to 5, which is what it was in the original. In the Crash Bandicoot 2 and Crash Bandicoot 3. That's what it was changed to after that. So the first thing I will say about this game, something which I don't really like, or rather I found difficult at the start when I first started playing it, was that in Crash 1 the control feels... the jump doesn't go as far as you think it would. And I don't know whether that's just because the jump isn't as powerful as it was, or whether that was because, like, in the update, like, they've lengthened the graphics or something, but it just doesn't go as far. First change. Next change which I really like, the checkpoint system. In the original game, when you hit a checkpoint, and then you died later after that checkpoint, all the boxes that you broke before the checkpoint were now unbroken again, which meant you had to go through the level flawlessly. Now it saves your boxes, so it's much better. And we've got invincibility. Run like a madman. I am actually being a bit more careful here with how I'm running. With my jumping, Oh! Didn't quite judge it right. Right. Fuck! Ah, damn it. Now I've got to do that all the way across. Oh, God. This is not going to be fun. I was hoping to get that first time, but now I'm going to have to break each one individually, and that's a bit of a pain in the ass. If I die once more, then I'll be cutting. But, okay, here we go. Yeah, you can still spin away the Wumpa Fruit when you spin into them, so if you're a kleptomaniac and like to collect every bit of Wumpa Fruit going, just be careful. Right. Fuck it! One last try. It's just... that's another problem I have with the control in Crash 1, at least. The control just feels like bouncing on boxes isn't as easy. And that's actually a problem which continues in Crash 2 and Crash 3 as well. Well, I haven't played 3, but you know, it at least continues in Crash 2 that bouncing off boxes and judgment is a lot more difficult. Alright. Fuck it! Seeing him in. Ah, boom, there we go. I got that eventually on my third or fourth attempt, I can't really remember which. But we have to step back a little bit here. And now we can finish off the level. There's that jumping! Right, there we go. Through. And box gem number 1. Yay! And we're done. That took longer than I wanted it to, but we're done. I like how they kept that as well for the collect gems screen. But there we go. Yeah, basically this isn't going to be a 100% run. I'm not going to get every gem. I'm just going to try and get as many gems as I can. The only thing I am going out of my way for is the Cortex keys, which you can get from special, which you can get in a couple of levels, which open up 2 extra levels, because I want to show off every level. But yeah, another great addition that they added. You can now save at the title screen. How amazing is that? You can save whenever you want. So let's go here, and we'll save there. I always do a manual save, just in case, you know. But yeah. Let's move on to the second level of the game, Jungle Rollers. The actual spinning TNT is deadly, thank you. Jungle Rollers, so yeah, second level of the game. The actual overworld screen that they showed off there is actually, I believe it's slightly different. Not in terms of its layout, but just how Crash traverses through it. It's now more of a straight line than the original version of the game. That's something that's been changed, I think, as well. That the careful. There we go. Ah, thank you. once again, I just have to be very, very fucking careful. You can't get the box gem here because you need to get a coloured gem later, which you don't get for quite a while. The Tana icons, oh, I always hated those because they kind of pop out of nowhere. But anyway, the Tana icons are back. Fuck. Never mind. Shit. They are back. And you basically collect 3 of these to get into an extra stage. Boop. Actually, there is something that they changed as well with these as well. For the bonus stages, you now have to get them all for gem to get the gem. So that means it's a little bit of a layer of added difficulty, but they also made it that slightly easier. That's changed as well because Tana just kind of hung out there in the original, and now Cortex takes her away, which makes more sense, to be honest. But anyway, so yeah, you have to complete those for box completion. But if you fail in one of those bonus levels, you can retry as many times as you want. So it simultaneously makes the game a little bit more difficult, but also makes the game a little bit easier. And yeah, need to get the coloured gem to get this gem, which I probably won't be getting, because getting the coloured gems is a pain in the ass. Yeah, and that continues. Basically, it changes every 10, so he gets more and more hurt after every 10 boxes. I'm sure I'll be able to show it off where he gets like pretty much on the ground, flat on his face, crying for his mummy. It's actually a pretty funny thing to look at. Load times, I would say, are not terrible, but it's also not great considering it's a PS4 game. Great Gate, our first gate level. I actually really like these. So yeah, load times aren't absolutely abysmal, but they're also not amazing. So yeah, always try and get the something else I will say as well, that they've not changed it, I don't think, but I find it harder to bounce up off them, like holding down, like in the original game, the holding down the button felt a bit more responsive, whereas in this game it's not quite as responsive. Like, it's not horrible, it's just not quite as responsive as I remember it on the original PS1 version. But yeah, I won't complain too much about the changes, because a lot of the changes a lot of the changes that they've made for this game, and for 2 and 3, I actually really like, and they have done a good job with and just overall, I think that that is a pretty faithful recreation. Sometimes to a fault. But hey. Oh shit, I didn't see that, because I'm blind. Second Tana emblem. And much like the original games as well, there are also other kinds of special stages as well. There are the embryo ones, which are just basically harder special stages, but there are also like I said, the Cortex ones, where you have to get a key to unlock a couple of extra stages, and they are quite difficult to beat, but as you can try them over and over again without really having to worry about it, that's not too bad, so I'm not going to complain about that. Right, how am I going to do this? Fuck. That didn't go very well. I should have bounced up those two first. Alright, let's try that again. Like I say, you don't lose the life either, which is incredibly nice. So yeah, can't complain. I also think you can't... I think this is another one where you can't get it until you get a coloured gem. And boop! 2 extra lives. You really rack up the extra lives in this game early on. I think Crash 2 is even worse, to be honest. So yeah, the difficulty of this game is it's not ridiculously difficult. Especially if you're not going after everything. So you need a colour gem path there. I think it's the yellow gem. Move on. But yeah, all that stuff which was on Twitter, God. The day the game was released, like comparing it to Dark Souls, it's like, yeah, chill the fuck out. It's not that fucking hard, Jesus Christ. Anyway, boulders, our first boulder level. This one you can get the gem for, so I'm going to try. Yeah, the boulder levels I always found, they are the easiest ones for me. Like the ones in Crash 1. I found the ones in the polar bear levels, and because there were boulder levels and there were polar bear levels in Crash 2, I always found them more difficult than ones in Crash 1. And I like all his animations, like where he's looking behind him at the boulder that's chasing him. That's kind of cool. But then again, they just ripped straight out of the original game. More impressive back then, I would say. Yeah, don't bother with the fruit. Something else that's nice as well with the boulder levels, which makes them a little bit easier to 100%, sorry, is the fact that boulders, boxes, crates that are broken by boulders now count towards your toll, which they didn't in the original Crash Bandicoot, the original PS1 version. So that makes these easier by default. Although I've still had it in Crash 1 and Crash 2 where the boulders don't break a box, which in all honesty they really should, and gem. So yeah, just make sure. They're more of a pain in the ass in Crash 2, to be honest, but whatever. Gem number 2. Let's move on. But yeah, I would say the same for like older games. Basically, if you're not going for 100%, these games are fucking easy. It's only when you go for 100% that they really start to kick you in the balls. Alright, it's time for Upstream. Hint, collect 3 face tokens to unlock the bonus round. Really? You're telling me that now? These river levels I actually really like, because they just look, they just look so gorgeous, especially in this version. Like I said, the music here is I also really I've always liked the Upstream kind of music from the water level music from Crash 1. It's so nice. There we go. I'll wait for him to jump. Now go. Up here they're kind of a bit slippy. Ooh, fuck. They will snap shut if you when you land on them, so jump off them relatively quickly. I just love how the water looks. And oh shit, it's just a beautiful looking game. Oh god. Oh, I haven't got invincibility. Good. And these ones snap shut of their own accord. There we go. And you can't get the gem for this world yet, this level yet either, because of the fact that that you need one of the color gems, which I probably will not be getting any of in this playthrough, just because you have to get the color gems, you have to complete the world, the level, 100% the level without dying once, which on some of the levels of the pits is fucking impossible. So yeah, but another couple extra lives, and away we go. How many lives am I at now? I'm at 19 now, so yeah. You get a lot of lives in this game, especially early on. Ooh. But to be fair, if you're going for 100%, you need all those lives. Ooh. There we go. Yep. Time to go. Finished upstream. I also like that they kept the different animation. So if you get it without getting all the boxes, he does like a little kind of like wipes his brow, wipes sweat off his brow. It's kind of like whew. And then in the other levels, and then if you 100% it, he just goes in happy. Alright, time for the first boss, Papu Papu. Let's get on with it. Yeah, I'm going to finish recording after I've done this bit. This will be the last bit of recording for today. And Papu Papu. Pretty easy boss, especially if you've got especially if you got all the, especially if you got all your if you got masks going into it. But one extra level of difficulty which they've added to the N Sane Trilogy is that, at least with Crash 1, I think with all the Crash games actually, you actually got a... Wow, that was quick. And they also changed his exit animation here, so he jumps on his belly. You just have to jump on his head, he's easy. But anyway, you actually don't, because in the other games you actually got 2 Aku Aku masks at the beginning of every single boss. This one you don't. If you don't have masks going into it, then that's it. Really, you don't have masks. Which for the first boss isn't too bad. But for later bosses it can make some of them a lot more difficult. Especially the second to last boss, Embryo. He's really difficult. For me, anyway. Okay. One last thing to show off before we go, and that is... Ooh! Coco. Do you want her to join your adventure? Yes. So now, basically you are able to press R2 and you can change into Coco. This is a little addition that they added to the N Sane Trilogy that allows you to play as Coco in every single level in the entirety of the game. But that'll be the next part, and I'll be playing as Coco for the next recording session, I think. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, join me next time for the next part of the Crash Bandicoot N Sane Trilogy, Crash 1 version, when we'll be going to the next level of the game, which is Rolling Stones. Wonder where they got that from. Anyway, see you next time.